Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies, strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hey y'all, it is Tuesday morning and this is our Tuesday Marketing Masterclass with Giver Marketing. So glad to have y'all join us today. We have a fun topic planned because today we're going to be talking about how to maximize your event attendance. And a lot of us have been hosting events, but how do you get people there? So it's an important topic to talk about. We've got some of our team members back in the studio. Timothy Morgan's going to be joining us here in a few minutes, but we're going to go ahead and get started. But I want to say, hey, hi to all of our Giver Marketing land. Kingdom Warriors is out there. We've got some other collaborations going on, and we love having you here supporting us as we love to support you. So let's work together as a team. The tide rises all. So if we work together, we can bring out the best. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in and talk about how you can maximize your event attendance. I love hosting events. It's one of my favorite things to do. Not everybody's done it. Not everybody feels comfortable doing it, and that's okay. There's a learning curve involved in it, right? So when we talk about maximizing your events, right, how are you going to do that? Well, so why are we hosting an event? Okay, what's the big deal? Why would you even do that? And there's some definite benefits to hosting events. So, if you haven't done it before, think about it because sometimes it's worth going through the trouble to do it, right? So one of the reasons is brand awareness, right? Kind of gives you an opportunity to get your brand out there. When you think about, here's your small circle that and your circle starts growing. But when you do an event, you have an excuse to get the word out there and let more people know about who you are, what you stand for, and what you're about. So brand awareness is a great reason to start hosting events if you're not already doing it. I think networking opportunities, an opportunity for everybody to get together and talk, right? They're talking and they're doing it under your roof or your hosting place, right? You're part of that conversation, right? So get to know everybody even better and build those relationships even stronger, right? And that's where the creative sense of community comes in, right? The kinds of events you host, who's at those events, who you encourage, the kind of activities, right? That's all creating that sense of community. We mentioned Kingdom Warriors earlier. There's another one that's talking about, they create a sense of community through what they do. And that's an important thing that we're looking for in today's businesses, right? You can also enhance your company culture. I mean, there's a difference between just going to work every day or even if it's online, right? And you talk to your coworkers and stuff, but when you get to relax with them and do some events and have some fun together, it changes the culture, right? It changes the environment. It changes how you see each other. So another cool part about it is it boosts your content marketing strategy. And you think about it, what does that mean? Okay, when you have an event, you take pictures, you take video, right? You get smiling people together, you get groups. You've got now information that you can use for your content, for your marketing for quite a while, right? And it'll make it easier to promote the next event because now you've got photos from last event. Right. And it gives you a chance to interact with your audience, right? So you get to know your audience better, right? So if you can bring them to an event where there's interaction going on, then you get to know them so that you can meet their needs better, right? It's a subtle way to increase your revenue through follow-up. Because if you had somebody at an event, you invited them, you can follow up and say, hey, what did you think of the event? And start the conversation that way. Or just wanted to say thank you for coming to the event. Right. So little tidbits like that to kind of give you a nice, gentle reason to outreach to people. right? And the other thing is you want to stay on top of the competition, right? Because we have our competitors, you want to know what they're doing. They're kind of curious about what you're doing, right? This kind of keeps you top of mind before them if they're not doing events. So it's nice to stay up on what's going on. So we're having a lot of fun here, lots of different options and reasons why you might want to host those events, right? So let's go ahead and move into, I'd like to talk about Timothy Morgan, who hasn't joined us yet, but he'll be here in a minute. He's the CEO of Giver Marketing Network, and I'm so grateful that he put this group of marketers together because it's an opportunity for us to work together to help everyone else. Right? That's what we do. That's what marketers do. Our job is to make you look good. So I love being able to work with all the professionals. And I see we've got some of our team members popping into the back end of the studio. We're going to pull them in for the discussion a little bit later. I'm Christine Deane, CEO of DFW Networking Diva. That's my business, and my marketing business deals a lot with networking. I host a lot of events. So this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. We've done lots of events between my business, between podcasting, between in-person networking events. I'm on the board for the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We've done lots of events that way. So I love the event space. It's a lot of fun. So let's start off. Let's talk about audience participation. Yes, I want to hear from you. What kind of event do you want to host? How many people are already hosting events? Go ahead and put that in the chat, right? Let me know what's going on, right? So we've got all sorts of different kinds of events possibilities, right? What kind of events do you want to host? Do you want something that's industry specific? Do you want something that's going to help business owners? Do you want something, right? Who is your audience and what kind of events you want to host for them? So start thinking about that. What kind of events you want to do? Okay. Because once you kind of have that in the back of your mind, all right, now you can kind of keep that in mind while we're going through. So I see some gallery events, First Fridays, nice. All sorts of fun stuff. Okay. Those are great events, and there is no such thing as a wrong event. Okay. That's where your chances to gather the people that are interested in doing what you're doing. Okay. So somebody else says they want to host a wine event. Oh, fun. Yeah, I actually have a client that's going to be hosting one of those in just about 2 weeks, I think it is. So there's a lot of possibilities when it comes to events. It's a great chance to gather people. All right, so keep that event, whatever it is that's in mind, keep that in your mind as we're going through and start applying some of this to your event. Okay, so when it comes to your events, we're going to talk about how to maximize your event attendance. And what you really want to keep in mind is you need to target the right audience. You can spend all day telling everybody about it, but if you're not telling the right audience what you're doing, then the rest of the people, they don't care. So you have to get in front of the right audience, okay? You want to promote it on the best channels. And it's not just the best channels, it's the best channels for your audience, right? And then you need to create high value partnerships. Right? Who are you partnering with? So these are 3 vital areas. All right. So let's start right off with target the right audience. Do you understand your audience? Right. So who are you trying to reach? So we had somebody talk about wine. They want a wine event. Okay. So why? We like wine. Okay. We're not going to complain about that. But, who are you trying to get to that wine event and why? Right. What does that target audience want? Right. Well, they want wine. Okay. What else do they want? Right. How can you connect with them? Right. So you really have to dive into your audience and what's going to be interesting to them. Right. If it's an art studio, right, you're going to do some kind of art gala. Right. So who are you trying to reach? Probably people that you want them to buy your artwork. Right. And what do they want? They want something beautiful for their walls. Right. How are you going to connect with them? Well, so if they like art, right, there's some great opportunities for conversations and inspirations behind what you're doing. Right. So you got to reach out to the right audience because they're the ones that want. Not everybody's into art. I don't understand them, but I think everybody should be. Right. But you got to get in front of the right audience. Okay. Now, when we talk about the right audience, say who's interested in this event. And a lot of times we like to think as hosts that everybody's going to be interested in my event. No. Everybody's not interested in your event, right? You really think about who does it really apply to, right? Why are they interested in my event, right? For us here at Good Marketing, we like to do our marketing class on Tuesdays, right? So the idea is we're helping other business owners or other marketers, right, with elevating their marketing skills so that they can be more effective in their businesses, right? So that's why they're interested in our events, right? And what's unique about it, right? We love feedback. We love opportunities for you to participate. We usually offer some kind of freebie as part of our presentation. presentations, right? So we're trying to add some special qualities to our particular presentations and shows, right? So look at who's competing for this audience's attention and time. Ooh, that's a big one, right? There's a lot of opportunities out there on who we can talk to and where we want to put our energy. And when you think about it, right, who else is hosting something that's either competing in the same time slot, right? And so that could be an issue. You need to pay attention to that kind of thing. You can't, my event isn't a vacuum all by itself and I don't care what anybody else is doing. Let me put my blinders on. No, you want people there. So you need to pay attention. Are you conflicting with something else that's already been established and been going on for a really long time? Is there something else going on in the industry on that day? Right? Is there another powerful event going on? You want to look at where else they might go for the information that you're sharing, right? So we definitely have some options we want to keep in mind. Hey, Timothy, I see you back there in the studio. You coming in? All right, I'm bringing you in. Here we go. Hey, whoop, and there you go.
Made it. A little bit of technical difficulties, but here we go.
It happens, right? That's all right. We're doing good. We're just talking about the right audience, right? So big thing, right? What will my audience gain by attending my event? If you're not offering something valuable, they're not interested. They might come once and they're never coming back again. All right. So you got to be, relevant. You got to be giving them information they actually want to hear. Right?
Yeah, I was able to listen in a little bit as I was getting my tech dialed in. But one thing to consider, at least from my perspective, is like what makes your actual event special or different to the point to where even if somebody else is doing something, your audience is like, heck no, I'm coming to your thing. Like what actually does that? Like, and we've all been there. Like there's a bunch of family stuff going on or a bunch of big, in-person events or even online events. Like there's so many choices now.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been there. It's like, do I want to go to this concert over here or do I want to go to this like learning event over here? And they might be totally different, but there's so much competing for our time. So you're right about this audience piece.
Big time, right? So you got to stand out in some way, right? Make it memorable somehow that they're going to be like, ooh, I want to go in, right? So feel free, drop comments with us about, what you're thinking about for your audience, right? How are you going to get them to participate? If you have any great ideas, feel free to drop those in chat, share those wisdoms with everyone else. We believe in the concept of abundance here. So we believe that there's plenty of opportunities for us to all work together. So share it. Don't keep it a secret, right? I see we've got people talking about hosting biannual summits, right? I know we like to do our summit every January. So that's a popular event also. Absolutely. Right. So know your audience.
An example, Christine, of like, there's a lot of warriors listening right now, a lot of warriors watching in, Kingdom Warriors. And what they did was they took a very specific audience, an audience of faith, people of faith, said, hey, if you want to learn about things like NFTs and blockchain and all these other awesome innovations, and you're a person of faith, but you don't want to get scammed or spammed or, kind of led in the wrong direction, come check out our thing. And within, gosh, it felt like less than a year, it was a little over a year, we were able to really impact that audience in a tremendous way for good. Like it was amazing. Became one of the largest Facebook groups on the planet for what we did and what we're continuing to do. Now it's developed into a studio. And so that audience really rocked the house. And it's a privilege to serve an audience. It's not like we have a right to, for people's attention. It's a privilege to serve their hearts and minds with things that would encourage them and take them to another level.
Absolutely. And Timothy, that's a great example about knowing your audience. If you know who your audience is and kind of niche right into that, right? Now you can provide them with what they're looking for. Like you said, a safe community to learn and grow, all right? And find out more about MFTs and all that kind of stuff without worrying about being scammed, right? That's a special environment. Right. Yep. And that's what it's about. And that's what you really want to look for is who is my real audience, right?
I know, Christine, for you, your audience is is very specific. You like to work with certain kinds of folk. Can you describe that for those who are listening? Because it's really
Oh,
fun
yeah.
to listen to you talk about it. So, because your body
Yep.
language, you get all like excited, like I love serving these people and these people.
I do. I have my audience too. We all should. And for me, really, it's mission driven organizations, solopreneurs, those in the nonprofit space, even for profit. If you've got a mission that's going to do good in the world, I'm a sucker for a mission. I say it all the time, right? I
Yep.
work with a lot of veterans, right? And so my son served, so I have a special affinity for that. And so when you get to work with those people that are doing good in the world, my job is to make you look good. So, when we can work together with that right audience, oh, it feels so good.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your like at least 5 to 10 words, a descriptor of your audience in the comments. Just a few words. You don't have to get all fancy with it. Just blurt out the first things that come to your mind. Like, these are the people I love to work with. It could be, specific character traits. It could be demographic type pieces. People in this region, or people of this age range, or people who have this difficulty, or people who enjoy this, or any kind of descriptor, any kind of description in the with with language in the comments could absolutely help you zero in your audience. And plus, you're going to be able to showcase that to a bunch of other people watching. So that leads into some of our other conversation too. So do
Oh,
that. Do that.
absolutely. Yeah, I've seen some of the comments we're getting about high net worth art lovers and collectors. Yeah, know who your audience, and it's okay if your audience is high net worth. If that's the only people that can afford your product, then you want to make sure you're targeting that for your marketing. It doesn't make any sense to target people who can't afford what you offer. That's just the way it is, right? And that's okay, right? I have a soft spot for startups, right? They may not always have the money, but I always have just a little bit of time to give them a little advice and let them run with it, right? So know who your audience is and who it is that you want to talk to, right? I'm seeing small wineries. Somebody's got their age in there, right around age 47. They work a full-time job. See, really dive in. Who's your audience and who do you want to get in front of, right? Ideal audience is people of faith who champion healing. Nice, right? So we have a lot of different options here. So know who that audience is, and that's who you want to invite to your event, right? I mean, you could spend a lot of time and effort inviting everybody, but why not narrow it down to just those people that are really you're gonna be able to make that impact with, right?
Love it. Give Our Marketing Network's an interesting group because we have basically a matchmaking responsibility to welcome new marketing professionals, but we only let in like 10% of the people we interview. So we're looking for high character, competence, collaboration. Usually they have to have some idea or desire to develop in their innovative or technology aspects of marketing for their own agency or their own freelance business. So there's a very specific person that is kind of welcome through the door. And so over the years, you don't have to know that right away, but eventually you have to get to where you're niching down and down and down and down. And the faster you can do that, the more impact and revenue we can make. Like, that's just how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Christine, thank you for bringing this particular topic to the table.
Absolutely. It's essential, right? You're going to maximize your audience, right? Your audience expects at your events. They want interaction. Gone are the days where we can sit back and just be lectured to. That's not what we're doing anymore, right? We want interaction. Like, we're asking all the time, like, okay, what do you think about this? Put it in chat, right? We want to see, we talk about it, right? They want discussions. They want keynotes that they're learning from, right? They want to know what the relevant takeaways. They want it to make sure it's whatever the industry is, that they're top notch, right? And if your promotion feels dated or out of touch, it's going to be ignored, right? You really want to come across as competent. You got to look like you know what you're talking about here. If not, right? I sat through a presentation the other day, and they were doing a screen share, and they were writing things out by hand, and I was like, oh, old school, right? I think they meant it to be relational, but it felt very old-fashioned in nature, right? And you're like, ooh, I don't know, for a group presentation, feel like you could have thrown a couple slides together, right? I mean, we had to sit there and watch them write out every word. And I'm like, felt like I was back in my teaching days. That's a little bit ago. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're working with your audience in a way that, you're staying relevant, right? That's a big part of it.
One of
So
the
you
fun
got
things that we enjoy doing, and I know you do, Christine, we all do here, is we do a few visuals and get the conversation going, and the eyes and the brains and the hearts moving. And then we bring in some of our other team members, and
Mhm.
they're even waiting in the green room right now, just ready
Oh
to
yeah.
go. And as we go into these visuals, ladies and gentlemen, get ready, because you're about to experience really a round table of marketing awesomeness. And it's probably going to happen in the next 10 minutes or something. But
Yeah.
I get excited about all this, the visuals, the learning kind of on the left side of the brain, and then the conversation that kind of engages both sides of the brain. It's just super fun, really fun.
We're going to hit some more tips and tricks before we bring in the rest of the crew. But,
Yeah.
when you're talking about creating your marketing strategy, right, for your audience, you got to design your whole campaign around that target demographic, whatever it was. Like Timothy was talking about, what age, what area, what all those demographics, right? That's who you need to target, right? Make a list of what they value and then make sure that you're offering that. All right, whatever it is that they value. And how can you sweeten the deal to get them to get their attention, get their attendance, get them to participate, right? And think about what kind of rewards you can give them for signing up or promoting your event. Have them become part of the activity, whatever it is. You don't want them to just be viewers. You want them to be eager participants as part of it all, right?
Would this be a good time to talk about inbound versus outbound marketing?
Yeah, throw it in there. Go for it.
So, a lot of folks view themselves as someone who's hunting and going after something, and that's fine. There's a time to hunt and there's a time to farm. And hunting is a metaphor that eventually it breaks down a little bit, but ultimately, when you think about it, you're going after something. Whereas if you're either a magnet or a farm, or there's different analogies you can use or metaphors, but you want to be able to work where you are and allow for others or the fruit or the growth to come to you. And some people are like, you have to do one or the other. I'm like, no. And when you're in the beginning stages, you do both. You get your farm like dialed in and till the ground and do your thing and get it prepared, and you go hunting. And if you don't catch anything there, you're gonna hopefully eventually get something here. So you need both the hunting and kind of the farming mindset at different times. And you got to try both until you figure out kind of what your rhythm is. And every business does both. They're both outbound, where they go and catch something or grab something. Some call it fishing, where you're going out to get something. But then there's other ways where people come to you and say, I'm magnetized to what you're doing. I want to be in this space with you. And you really want to develop both.
Right. And that's where your attendees can become those participants where they're not just showing up, right? They're part of it. That's a huge part of it. All right. Now that you understand you're targeting the right audience, step one, right? The next step is promote on the best channels for your target audience, which is very, very specific, right? So you want to think about what makes sense for your audience, right? And there's a lot of different options out there. And so I'm going to rattle off a bunch of them, but this is some ideas for you to start thinking, right? Identify the channels that reach your target audience. So what is your audience? Where do they spend their time? What do they do? Who do they follow? Do they subscribe to any newsletters, right? What do they read? What do they watch, right? You really need to get in the mindset of your ideal person that you want at your event. It's because once you know what they're doing and where they're hanging out, now you know where to go to talk to them. Right?
Yeah,
So
those
think about
channels,
that.
even the visual you had before that, just showcases like all the different methods. We have one client, and when I say we, look, we have almost 100 members. And, by the time you see this, it's probably over, around 100 members. And
Mhm.
when I say we have a project, that means I'm aware of a project. I happen to be highly involved in this one where we still use the local like print ads, and they kill it because it's so targeted, like you were talking about before. It's so perfect of an audience that and as long as people are paying attention to that particular channel or that particular medium, use it until it doesn't work anymore, or until something else outpaces it or does better as far as ROI or return on investment. Use it not just
Absolutely.
because you're comfortable with it, but because it works. In fact, some of the things that we use that will produce the highest ROI are the things we're actually uncomfortable with because we just haven't tried it yet.
You gotta, get out there and try things you haven't tried before. The first time you do anything, it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but if you get into it and you actually make yourself do it, right, at some point you're going to reach a level of competency and you're going to be impressed with the results because it's something you weren't doing before. Now you've got this whole new avenue.
It's like
Right?
these interactions here, Christine. A lot of people are experimenting right now and getting their feet wet and how to do lives and how to go online and do this and turn their social media presence into something really big, like you have listed here. And you don't start a high level professional doing this. Like, you just start where you start, and then you grow. And extrovert or introvert, we've seen some introverts just kill it on these videos because they're so deep. They have depth to what they're saying. They're not filling time. They're just like right in it. Oh man, whoever you are, find a way to get in front of this audience with these type of channels that Christine's talking about.
Right. And we're used to social media, right? There's a lot of different options when it comes to social media. When you think about your channel and all your options, right? LinkedIn, there's LinkedIn events, there's Facebook events. And if you haven't gone through, it's not that hard, I promise. You just follow the step by step, but there's an opportunity where you get to invite people. And I've gone in there and invited hundreds of people to a LinkedIn event. Right. And people tend to RSVP for them, right? The same thing with the Facebook events or your Eventbrite, right? Share it, put it on there. You might create a Facebook group for your event. Maybe you promote it on another social media like Pinterest, do a video for Instagram, TikTok, right? Maybe you do social media, do advertise that you're going to give a ticket away, right? So there's a lot of options. WhatsApp, you can do broadcasts on there, create some hashtags for your event, right, that you can put on there. Maybe do some live interviews with people that are going to be attending the event or speakers for the event, right? If there's going to be music involved, like music pictures right there, right? Maybe you need to create a Spotify playlist.
What's your favorite events, ladies and gentlemen? What's your favorite type of channels? What's your favorite mediums? Put them in
make some notes in chat.
Comments. Put them in the comments. We want to hear what you're actually using right now. And
also tell us what you want to try, right? Maybe you're like, oh, I've thought about this, but I haven't done it before. You never know. Maybe we'll bring somebody on to talk about that. So put it in there. There's some great topics for upcoming Giver marketing classes, right?
And don't say all of them. Just pick the ones that you're either using or you're really excited about. Pick the ones you're either using right now or you're excited to try. We really do want to know. So put it in the comments, and that'll frame some of the comments that we have in the future.
Absolutely. You think about the opportunity to blog and be a guest blogger, right? Your email is gold, right? Collect your email list and guard it very carefully, right? You don't want to spam them, but your email list is where you can reach out and let people know that are interested in what you're interested in, right? You get to share that information with them. So email is a great place to do it. Speaking opportunities, right? Get on a podcast. There's so many different opportunities to get out there, get on stage, let people know about what you're doing, right? And you could even at the end of your presentation offer some free tickets or raffle off some tickets to the events that you're trying to promote, right? And Timothy, you mentioned earlier, direct mail campaigns. They still work. Postcards, right? A restaurant opened up around the corner and I'm like, why did they not do postcards to all the local houses right here? This whole little subdivision. I guess it didn't occur to them, but I'm like, I'd have been all over that, right?
Hey, brick and mortar is hard enough as it is. Like, get the word out, get your power partners, get some other companies been around in the region and see if they want to share an email list or something. Like, figure it out, because people only have so much time, so much to be able to do. if you can kind of partner up with others and they just continue to have some fun in that region or in that space online, even a lot of people are doing hybrid events. And we're looking into some of these kind of things in the future. And others have done a really great job of having a physical event and an online presence at the same
Mhm.
time. And it's like, that's getting into big boy and girl. I mean, that's big time level, but at the
Uh-huh.
same, but the technology's there, Christine. Like
It
it's
is,
there. It's
absolutely.
ready to go. So
Well, and
why
the
not?
opportunity to go and interview people on the spot so that
Mhm.
people that aren't there can feel like they're part of the event, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of different opportunities there. And
Yep.
don't forget traditional, traditional press. The old school stuff works, like we said, whether that's postcards, press releases, right? Magazines, TV. I've got a client that's running a TV ad right now. I mean, so it just kind of depends on what makes sense. Where is your audience, right? Paid advertising. Yes, you need a budget. If you're going to spend all this money on your event for the location, for food, for people, for speakers, whatever it is that you're doing, invest in the marketing side of it. Plan
Yep.
on that paid advertising also. It just makes things a lot smoother. I mean, there's no sense in spending that kind of money and then not get the results that you want,
But
right?
we've heard everything from, earned media to paid advertising. We have a team member named Katie that works on Kingdom Warriors. She talks a lot about earned media. She does a great
Mhm.
job at that. Joel does a lot in the paid advertising space. You do as well,
Mhm.
Christine, and kind of both the earned and the paid side. Some call it organic. It's not as much organic anymore as it is earned. Like there's some things that bubble up organically, but you got to really earn people's attention. So I love that phrase, earned media or earned attention. And so that's the game we're in, is being able to get our awesomeness to the right people in the right ways, to the right channels. So this is super fun.
Sure enough. So make that list, make a contact list, right? Share with them what, when, why, what you're doing with your event, right? So you got to make a list, check it off, right? As you go, and who do you need to connect with? And we're going to talk next about some people to get involved. But so which channels will you use for your next event? So think about that, drop that in chat, let us know. We can always do a fun marketing class on a specific channel too. So we have lots of possibilities coming up. So let us know. What are you going to use? What are you
I know
currently using?
Jamar's going to put Discord. I know, Joel's going to put this, and we got a couple of Joels in the green room right now. I know Oz is like, let's go LinkedIn and do a few other spaces. Let's
Mhm.
go. Like I can already feel it simmering right now. They're in the green room, just like waiting to. This is exciting. I'm excited because at the end of the day, your channels. This is where people oftentimes will say, well, I don't get enough people to my events. I don't have enough qualified leads. I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. And I'm like, look, first of all, get rid of the stinking thinking. Let's create a magnetic persona of
Mhm.
like talk to Christine or talk to somebody about, like, let's put something together that just feels like people are like hungry and thirsty for what you have. Let's just make sure that's a good fit. And then let's get these channels popping. Like if you have to hire a VA or have one of your family members help you, like
Mhm.
hold the camera while you're talking to your audience on these different channels, or do like Christine's doing, just taking her visual game to a whole nother level and just like embracing the awesomeness. Like do it. Take incremental steps to go from minor leagues to major leagues. Like let's go pro. Let's do this, right? It doesn't always take a $5,000 camera. It might take the camera that you have sitting right there on your phone. And nowadays you can do this stuff like as you go. I was just at Newport Beach last week. I was sitting there taking pictures with team members and doing like videos to different things, and I'm like, this is actually possible to do this like on the go now. Like use your channel, like let people into your world to see if this is even something they want to even follow or be a part of or connect with. You know what I mean? So Christine, I love this topic.
Oh, they even film whole movies with your phone. So there's no excuse anymore. We're willing to accept the lives. We want the real, the authentic. So it's okay. Don't think that you always have to have this perfect studio background and everything. Do it on the fly sometimes. Have some fun with it.
That's right.
All right, now that you're promoting on the best channels for your audience, right? And we know about who your target audience is. Let's talk about who's helping you promote. This is important, right? You want to create high value partnerships. This is where it really comes in, because there's only one of you. But when you have another partner and another partner and another partner, like we talked about co-hosting events, right? That's where it really, really comes in, right? Involve your network. Now, there's people that are invested in the success of your event, your sponsors, anybody who's paid to help with your event. And the idea is they want more visibility. That's why they sponsor. That's usually one of the first things that sponsors want. So if they're investing money in this event, right, they want you to be successful. Your speakers, right? They're going to get on your stage. They're going to get up and present, right? They want it to be successful. You know, vendors, anybody who's paid for a vendor booth, they want it to be. All these people want your event to succeed. So why not bring them into the whole event promotion side of it, right? You're going to need to create some marketing materials that they can use, and you're going to need to teach them how to use it, right?
Hey,
Not everybody
Christine,
knows.
speaking of this, let's let in the team a little early on this, and
Oh
let's
yeah.
roll through the rest of this. Let's actually give a visual for like what we're talking about,
Let's do it. All right, y'all. You're
because
coming in.
this right here will take you from, like Christine's saying, from solo to like tribe. Like this will take you to a whole nother level. And it's not that you're using people. Let's be really clear. We're looking for mutual benefit. That's always the case. And if you can find a triple win, a win that helps you, a power partner, maybe another entity and your audience. I mean, technically that's a quadruple win, but if you can find at least a triple win, goodness gracious. I mean, you can use this software for this, and then your buddy that does this, they do this, and now it's not even just about an event. It's a partnership that's mutually beneficial for everybody involved. Anytime there's a shift in that mutual benefit, then now you're starting to get into the spammy, slimy, scammy kind of vibe where it's one way. So find mutual benefit. That's the key.
Absolutely. Well, we've got some of our marketers in the room now. So if you guys have some experience with the sponsors, speakers, vendors, feel free to pop in and then share any of your experiences if you want to have some wisdom that you want to share with our audience.
So it's been exciting to see this, and I think these are great conversations to have, and really kind of expanding our thought process, Christine, and really appreciate you in doing that, as you always do. And one of the examples that I can reflect on is we had a financial services person who was involved in 1031 exchanges, which is kind of an advanced investment strategy for real estate, that partnered with other real estate agents, and they did a whole how to build wealth through real estate general subject. And then the individual speakers, they were 2 individual speakers where they hosted a dinner event for high wealth individuals. So the whole idea was to bring in a much more mature audience that were certified investors, and then be able to present them with a strategy that they could utilize to build wealth in a little more advanced way through real estate. And it continues to be a very successful strategy for them, and they do them now almost every month.
Good example. Good case study. Good example. Financial world, we could all learn a lot from the financial world, not only the traditional financial world, but some of the up and coming block fintech and blockchain world that's impacting the financial world as well. Anybody else have anything to share as far as examples of partnerships with, other speakers or sponsors or vendors before Christine rocks it with some other visuals?
I do, Tim. And I just have to say, the universe put me here today. I mean, I'm basically here every Tuesday anyway, but less than 3 minutes before this meeting, I got off the phone with Dubin Pintor Gallery, and we're in the process. We have a bunch of artists coming. I put something together called First Fridays, okay, at Dubin Pintor. It's a struggling gallery, huge gallery, beautiful event space, and a lot of struggling artists. So I figured, okay, let's collaborate. Let's get everybody together. Let's put our minds together. But let's not do this next month or the month after that. Let's do this 6 months down the road and do all of our research. And I got to tell you, I have been furiously writing everything you two nutcakes have been saying, because it all plays into the meeting that we're having this Thursday, because the artists have no idea how to promote themselves. They have no idea how to market themselves. They're absolutely brilliant. The gallery doesn't do a great job of marketing. So coming in with these ideas, and I love the live streaming idea, that's going to take our audience so much bigger. But putting it in front of the right audience, okay, getting the right people there, because people walk into this gallery and they see $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 pieces of art, and most people can't afford that. But there's massive amounts of people that can afford that, and those are our clientele. And discovering how to promote to them, how to get them in there, how to give them tremendous value, coupons, sharing, wineries sponsoring it. You know, sponsorships are going to be so important, because now you're dealing with their list as well. So my mind is on fire right now. Thank you so much for doing this today, because I am exactly the person you're talking to.
Jamar or Joel, any other thoughts on this? Oz, thank you. Like, that's why we do this. We want everybody to succeed. So Jamar, Joel, anybody else have quick thoughts before we go to the next visuals for a conversation?
For sure, yeah, definitely wanted to chime in. As far as having people being invested in the success of your event, what I've found is extremely effective is, first, it's really important to know the landscape. You all had mentioned, like, you don't want to co-market an event or market an event at the same time as a bigger industry player. I see the most success for events at conferences, and that's just really is going to depend on the industry that you're in. Every industry doesn't have conferences, but if there's a much larger company with a much bigger budget doing something at the same time, you probably don't want to compete with them. But a lot of times, even though they might be not necessarily a competitor, it's good to try to get in with those people. And then if you get in with those people and help them, create a successful event, then typically they'll let you in either at a lower cost or for free. I actually had some success when I was selling biopharma doing this. It was actually a customer. I used the fact that she was a person that scheduled events to build the value of working with her. And then by helping her execute a successful event, we were able to, one, market the event, and then also to convert her into a customer. So I find that knowing the landscape is very, very important.
My brain goes into, like, okay, if there's a larger event, why not partner with them, support them, encourage them, get the word out about the larger event. And then, like you said, kind of earn the right to either get the list for that event, or like be a key part of the event. Or I had a business coach. He would stand at the door, physically at the door, and you can do this virtually as well, and basically welcome people into the event and just say, welcome, my name is so-and-so. What's your name? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you become, like, it's not even as much of an authority in the room as it is just a warm face that somebody could possibly trust someday. Like, it's human nature to be able to find the warmth or the trust in the room. And so for you to be able to do that, and then why not have another follow-on event which brags about the big event, but you're hosting like this follow-on thing. A lot of people have done that with a group called 100X in our community. And actually other organizations and events have been kind of like born out of these larger events. So why not? Like, I love the way your language set right there. Just find the landscape, view the larger entities or events as partnered. I love that. That's really good. Joel, did you have anything?
The only thing I wanted to jump back on is what you were saying, Tim, about creating the warmth in the room. I have been a part of a whole bunch of events, and I was never really part of the leadership of that event, but because I was there and giving that warmth to the room, I became the person that people came to for help. And it was really interesting that even if you were not in the leadership of that event, by creating your own event, and then and just being at these other events and just being a person who brings knowledge and warmth and just helping people, it ends up actually giving your own event that credibility that people want to be a part of.
So well said. Christine, what other visuals do you have for us today as
We've
we wrap
got
up?
another one. Here we go. Advice, right? So partners that can help you promote. So co-hosts, right? Don't do it alone. If I know of 5,000 people and my buddy knows 5,000 people and their buddy knows now you've got a lot of people, right? Co-host those events, get involved. Involve social influencers, right? They've got a following, you want to, if they're followers or your ideal clients, talk to them. Maybe you can work out a deal and give them a free ticket, right? There's opportunities. Maybe they'd be really into what you're doing, right? Turn the attendees into ambassadors, right? You can make them a little badge, right? That says, ambassador for whatever it is, right? A lot of times people like having a title. You can invite journalists, right, to come cover the event. A lot of times free tickets go a long way on that too, right? Or your local businesses. You could do raffles at local businesses if it's an in-person event, right? Get your speakers and attendees to share on social media, and network at other events that have the same kind of people that you're looking for, right? These are just a few ideas. There's a ton of them out there, but, finding those right partners that are going to work with you to kind of help, because you only have one mouth. You want lots of mouths talking about what you're doing, right? And if they're involved and they're invested and they have a reason to want to be part of it because they love your mission, because they want to work with you, because you have a shared mission, right? There's a lot of opportunities for collaboration. And that's that whole, like you said, abundance mindset again, right?
Yeah, I love the abundance mindset piece. And as we go to the next visual, if I could just mention one or two things. One is, if somebody is coming to your event and it starts blowing up, and like our summit in January is going to be like 100 plus type, potential, power partners working together. We're probably only going to pick the top 20 speakers, but it's going to be a pretty widely viewed event. If somebody decides to take that and parlay that into another like micro event afterwards, or a week later, or a few days later, what are we going to say? No, absolutely. Like, do that. Like I'm planting the seeds right now. Like, do that. Okay. It's the second Tuesday in January is the big event. So round out January or do something that will kind of continue the ripple effect. People who are afraid of other events bubbling up around them or other brands bubbling up around them are highly insecure. Like they should not be in business for very long. And as Oz would say, the universe definitely helps them go into another field of business eventually. Like, that's just kind of what happens. That's why the average business only lasts like 5 years and most don't last 10 years. So it's because they're all scarcity and like, this is mine. Don't talk to my people. Don't talk to this. Now, I will say this, though. If you partner with an established organization or an established brand or an established person, officially try to partner with them. Don't go sneaking around and doing weird stuff on, the day after, and like dropping their names and doing all this stuff and grabbing all the people you met at their, at this event and not communicate with your big brother or big sister in the room. Like, talk to your power partners as if they actually are a joint venture partner with you. Like, and even if they're not officially, treat them like that. Give to them, help them. How can I help? Can I put it on my channels? Can I do this? Do you need a little bit of help on the tech side? Do you need this? Do you need that? Whatever it is, serve them into a joint venture partnership. Don't pretend like you're a partner and then bounce and then never talk to them again. That's rude. It doesn't make sense long term. You're basically going up to somebody, smiling, and then kicking them in the shin and walking away. You don't want to do that. Don't do that stuff. Like, when you're partnering, like, you're actually giving to the relationship. Like, come on. Like, I feel like we're doing relationship advice today, Christine. We could probably do that someday, but the point is be the good partner in the environment. Like, do your thing and do it well, and don't sneak around and grab their list without telling them. Ask them like, hey, could I have the list so we could do a follow-on thing? Maybe they'll say yes. Maybe they'll say no. Hey, maybe you can give them their list and showcase how secure you are the following time. Or maybe you give them the list that you created because of the follow-on event, and it didn't include their original list, but you give them the people that, you know what I mean? Like there's ways to go above and beyond.
Well, if you're going to do a follow-up event, right, think about it. For example, with our summit that we do in January, right? So if somebody was a marketer and they weren't already involved with us and they said, wow, you know what? I watched that. It really made me realize that a workshop on this particular marketing topic would be perfect for your audience, right? What about partnering with us? We're like, sure, we'd love to co-host that with you. Right now, you've got our audience, your audience, and an opportunity to work together. Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
there's a
Kingdom
lot of
Warriors too,
opportunities.
Christine. Kingdom War, just because we're heavily involved, we're almost
Mhm.
like sister companies now, but and we just work with each other so well, right? It's like a family member. But they have these huge events where they put all this time and money into these 5 days, like basically they're challenges. Like we challenge you to grow, like all this stuff. It's like, man, if you want to do some kind of follow-on thing, like talk to us at Kingdom Warriors and talk to Eric Skeldon and Andrew Snow and Aaron Jennings and all these other people. Like talk to them, just ask them, like, can we partner with you in some way? We're not a big deal yet, but we're a part of your ecosystem. So can we like play together? They'll probably say yes. It's just a matter of how.
Absolutely. But people like to work together, right? And it's an honor to have someone come to you and say, hey, I'd like to work with you. Oh, wow. Thank you. Right. So treat it with that honor.
That's right. Cool.
All right, Timothy, I think we're going to land the plane. Are we ready?
Let's do it. Let's have the round table and rock this.
That's right. So just a reminder that you're going to maximize your event attendance by targeting the right audience, promoting on the best channels for your audience, and then creating those high value partnerships, right? That's what it's all about. So bring that all together so that we can, work together on these events. Right. My contact information, there's QR code to book an appointment with me if you've got an event coming up and you're like, I don't even know where to start, or I've been wanting to do an event and I haven't done one before and I'm a little nervous about it. Right. That'll give you 30 minutes on my calendar for free, just because it's Giver Marketing Love and we like to share the love around here. So shoot that, get an appointment with me, and let's chit chat a little bit more. And I think we have other people that love to do events in this group. So if someone else was making comments that really resonated with you, reach out to them, right? Put something in the chat features, right? In the comments saying, hey, I really want to talk to, right? Put that on there and they'll reach out to you and talk to you about it.
I got to say, Christine, and look, you didn't ask me to do this. I'm just saying this. Okay. Christine has put on some events, weekly events that are now starting to just really build some great momentum. This is one of them. We partner with Kingdom Warriors and some others as well. And she's just taking this to a whole nother level. I mean, think about the guests that have been coming in and the content that's been created. It's like, and the social media presence that's starting to kind of bubble and with intentionality, by the way, in some of the key, like Ginger and others in the network. But then also, Christine had a little baby on Wednesdays. She started something that's like this open networking for marketing-minded marketing professionals, up-and-coming marketing talent. And I gotta give a plug for Christine. If you want to know more about these like open events where it's not just members in the room, it's not just the invite only. This is a little bit more of an open, like a mixer, almost like an open virtual environment for those marketing professionals. Just hit Christine, and she's the networking diva for a reason. Like that's kind of what she does. So it's super fun. But Oz, if you have any follow-on questions, that's good. But hey, real quick, what's the takeaway from each of us from this? Because this is a strategy. It's an overarching strategy. It's not the only strategy for your business, by the way, but for the right personality and the right people, you can at least experiment with this, like Christine was talking about, and probably get a larger audience than doing almost anything else. Like this is one of those things where you got to at least try it. Otherwise, you're going to kick yourself later for not like at least trying this and like partnering with others who are doing it and kind of be in the room as it's happening. A lot of times we learn by doing, not just by listening. So let's do something. What do you guys plan on actually doing in the coming, let's say 30 days that might move the needle for you in this area? Does anybody have any thoughts on that? Oz, you just mentioned something you're already doing. So we'll come to you in a minute, but anybody else have anything that they're like, hey, I think I want to actually plan that or do that? Any thoughts on that?
Well, yesterday I was actually in a meeting with a friend who's doing an event like this. I had no idea. Like, this is my first, I've never thought about doing events like this. That's just not my,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the way I think. And so I was sitting there and she was like, well, we've all got stuff in our hands to use. And so why not we use it to make an event? And so what I ended up doing is I ended up sitting beside her and just being like, all right, you know what? I'll do some email marketing for you because that's something I've got a little experience in. But we're partnering in making her event happen. And then afterwards, we're going to collaborate and say, okay, I see how this works. Now what's next for me? And I think sometimes it's that partnering with people so that you can learn, because some of us, it's really hard for us to step out and go, okay, I'm going to jump out and do this. But there's always people around you, especially in the Giver Marketing Network. There's people around here that are doing stuff like this. Partner with them, volunteer with them, sit there and go, okay, I may not be able to do the social media marketing, but I've got a little bit of email marketing behind my back. Maybe I can help you with that. And you find people that you can help, and they will teach you how to do the event that you want to do. And I just and that's one of the things, the takeaways that I'm doing is like just taking what I've got in my hand and giving it to someone else, and not really expecting anything in return, but you're going to get something in return anyways, just in that experience.
What about
Absolutely.
you, Jamar? You guys are, I mean, we're already talking about different things together, and Kingdom Warriors is legit group to partner with on so many levels as well. Jamar, what are you thinking as far as action items here?
Yeah, no. So I've been taking some notes, and firstly, I was learning about the January summit. And I see that's January 9th, so I'm going to put that in the calendar. I think that would be something very cool to get involved with. And then really wanted to see if we could, just because we have digital marketing is a big part of our strategy as far as content. I was wondering if we could what we typically do is we have recorded sessions. We will sort of chop them up, put together shorter 30-second Instagram reels or 30-second to a minute, and distribute those on Twitter and other places. And then sort of link back to the actual footage so people can review it. I was wondering if we could do that with your content, because we have a lot of folks that would probably see a lot of value in this. And then I think it's just a good way to create more engagement around our brand while also bringing more attention to Giver Marketing as well.
Real life partnerships.
There it
going
is.
to another level right now. I'm gonna role play with you right now, Jamar, because this is really like a good way to wrap up and kind of land the plane today. Just check this
Absolutely.
out. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to what's happening right now. Jamar and I have been friends for a while. We've been talking about working together. This eclectic group of awesome technology meets marketing meets influencer meets musician, like kind of tribe has developed in Jamar's world. And it's just a natural fit for what Kingdom Warriors is doing, what Giver Marketing Network is doing. So this is happening real time right now. Okay. So Jamar, what you just offered was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, because there's always a need for slicing and dicing and throwing on social channels and then pulling that audience back again and again and just kind of having some fun with it.
Absolutely.
However, we don't always have enough bandwidth to do that, quote, in-house, right? So if we want to partner with somebody that's like, this is our jam, what do you do? Why are you trying to do this? If this is and we're members, why don't we just do this together? The answer is yes. However, I will say this. I want to make sure it's reciprocal for you guys. So
Absolutely.
Think about, this is the giver conversation happening right now. So Jamar, if somebody is willing to slice and dice and do the editing and all the reels and the this and the shorts and all these different things, I want to make sure that those people who actually do the work get on our stage and get some airtime. I want to give them the $1,000 airtime or the $5,000 airtime or whatever however price tag you put on it. Let's make sure that this is not just giving to the network. I want to give back to the members and the extended network. Why am I saying this, ladies and gentlemen? Because I want everybody that's part of Jamar's network to have a dual membership, if not a triple membership. I want everybody to have a membership with Jamar's group. I want everybody to have a Future Modern, right? I mean,
Correct.
Future Modern and all that. And then we believe in dual and triple memberships around here. It's like, it's kind of like your passport. Like you can have multiple passports. It's okay. It's all right. Being a part of one ecosystem, one ecosystem only is kind of legacy thinking. The world is much bigger, more diverse. It's very interconnected. We can get on and start partnering up and have a meeting with people across the world. Like the days of one passport or one membership, or it's kind of not where we are anymore. Like we need to have this interoperability. And I'm just gonna pause right there because I'll start getting really excited. But the answer is yes, as long as we can bless the people that are actually working. Okay.
Well, maybe the people that are working would like to. Are you out of here, Oz?
Yeah, I'm quietly and humbly listening to this and the collaborations that we're looking at. Tim, what about bringing Dylan Huey into this conversation?
100%.
Oh my God.
100%. Yeah. We're dropping a name right now on purpose because we've been wanting to connect that person to Jamar's group, and it all came from Oz just making one of his hundreds of introductions. I really mean that, ladies and gentlemen, hundreds of introductions. Okay.
Tim, would you like me to give everybody just a quick idea of who Dylan Huey is? Not
at this particular time, but as we're networking and slacking, if he was here, that'd be different. But as somebody comes and represents or has a team member represent, we've offered to Dylan to have an intern or somebody represent in the network. And then at that point, we would definitely want to do that. So just put a bug in his ear. Say, hey man, where's your people representing in the Giver Marketing Network and in Future Modern and these other places? Like, let them know. We've dropped his name live today. So let's go. Hi, influencer, like changing the world on the college campuses across America. Just insane. Christine, can you help us land the plane? Because we just won't stop.
We're over time and we got it.
Meeting. I was just going to stay here.
Well, so we're willing to have this conversation and continue it. Just reach out to us. You've got a bunch of marketers in the room right here that all of us are willing to have conversations with you. But we just wanted to say thank you so much for hanging out with us, Giver Marketing, and being part of our Giver Marketing Masterclass. We do this every Tuesday. So come join us next week, same bat channel, same bat time. And then on Wednesdays, we have our networking event. So if you're a marketer and you're wanting to hook up with other marketers and learn how about white labeling, all that kind of stuff, come talk to us, come hang out with us. Put your information in chat, make some comments, say, call me, reach out to me, whatever it is. We want to connect with you because you are our audience.
That's right. And as of now, that's not streamed. So you got to reach out to Christine and grab the secret entry passage. So she'll be able to get that to you. Okay. God bless you guys. We'll talk soon. For those who want to stay in the green room, we can do a fun debrief and just ask about how we can improve everything. And I'm going to end the broadcast now. So that's good.